Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy you're here, so hopefully this video is something that you're interested in, and thank you. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you to our... Just kidding, this isn't a sponsored video. Deadlines scare me. Back in my college days, it wasn't very shocking to find out that I wasn't the only one procrastinating on a regular basis. I figured it was safe to assume that most people didn't like deadlines anyway, but I was actually surprised to figure out that there were other people like me that were absolutely terrified of deadlines. There's just something terrifying about being expected to finish a project on a certain date, or being expected to show up at a certain place, and maybe a lot of this comes from me having Crohn's disease. Since it's a very inconsistent disease, it gets me worried thinking, I don't know how I'm going to be feeling the day of the due date. I don't know if I'm going to wake up with nausea, upset stomach, fatigue. Any of those things are just really going to ruin your day. But I even remember all the way back to grade school when it was a constant struggle to get things turned in on time or just turned in at all. I was always missing the deadline, and a lot of the time I would actually hide my homework because it gave me so much anxiety, but I didn't know what any of this meant. I didn't know why this was happening. And of course, all of my report cards basically said, a pleasure to have in class, has potential, doesn't reach potential, doesn't do homework, doesn't turn things in. I was a good kid in class, but when it came to the homework, I didn't want to do it. It really scared me, and I didn't know how to get over this. I even remember in 4th grade, if we had missing assignments, then we couldn't go to recess, but if we finished those assignments, then we could. And my desire to not do those assignments was so great that I was willing to give up recess if it meant not having to do them. And this was the case basically all the way through middle school and high school. Fast forward to college, I was ready for a change in my life, and I really felt like I could put this stuff behind me. And I did for the first semester. I pretty much got straight A's, and I did really well. But then after that, the assignments got more challenging. The deadlines just seemed to come out of nowhere, and I fell into those old habits of hiding my homework even as an adult. Looking at deadlines, even if I had a whole week to complete an assignment that wasn't that hard, it just scared me. And so just knowing when something was due somehow made a mental block. Like I just couldn't do that thing. Unfortunately, it got so bad that it triggered a Crohn's flare-up that lasted over a year and eventually led to surgery. So what's my point with all this? I don't know. Maybe we should just stop having deadlines in life, and then we'll all be happier. So if you're struggling with this, if you get anxiety from deadlines or homework, if school makes you anxious, you should really talk to someone, like have an honest discussion about how it makes you feel, because I wish I had done that. Whenever my teachers or parents would ask me why I didn't complete an assignment, I would just say, I don't know, because I really didn't know how to express what was happening. Anxiety wasn't really talked about when I was a kid. I didn't know what it was. I had never heard the word. I just had a feeling inside that was preventing me from doing these assignments. So I'm gonna take a quick pause in this video, write some things down, collect my thoughts, do some research, and then come back with some answers, and hopefully we can move forward and not be afraid of deadlines.
4 to 6 weeks later.
It turns out that if you make a video about deadlines scaring you and set a deadline to finish it, it probably won't happen. That's what happened here. I set a deadline to finish the video, and of course, it scared me a little bit and I didn't finish the video. Why don't I learn my own lessons? Like, gosh. So here I am about a month later, trying to finish this video. I've been doing some research, for the past 5 minutes. Hopefully I can bring it all together, send it home, and it could just really change your life. There is something pretty interesting about procrastination, and I've said it in a previous video. In my experience, when I procrastinate, it's not really because I don't want to do the thing, it's because I don't want to feel the way that that thing makes me feel. So even though I've been making videos for over a year, it still makes me a little anxious when I hit record, and I remember that feeling, and that's why I put off these videos. It's kind of this subconscious autopilot thing that my brain does, which a lot of us do. I think our brains are really good at remembering how much things suck. Hopefully some psychologists can back me up on this, but I think our brains are really good at remembering negative emotions associated with certain activities more than the positive emotions and results that come from doing good things. Yeah, humans kind of suck. So if you want to stop being a chronic procrastinator, you're gonna have to do some digging and figure out what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. Understanding what I feel and why the task is making me feel that way helps me take a step back and realize this really isn't that big of a deal. This huge task that I keep looking at and thinking, oh my gosh, it's a huge mountain I can't even start to climb, it's really not that big. And then you can move forward by breaking it into smaller tasks. Breaking up that mountain of a task into small, manageable pebbles will make it a lot easier to complete. So if you have an essay to write and you're just staring at this blank paper or blank document on your computer, start by writing your name, and that'll usually help. And if it doesn't, write the date and, you know, all this MLA format stuff, whatever. Just starting will help so much. I didn't learn this until I was an adult in college, but just starting out with a paper full of nonsense actually helps me write an essay. It was always so overwhelming to look at this blank piece of paper and think, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to write 250 or 500 or 1,000 words? That's just so much and I'm starting with nothing. Well, you can start by filling the empty page with just nonsense, bullcrap. Just write whatever you want, and then you can edit it and turn it into something good. I could never start with a blank page, but I can write as many words as I want as long as I can start with something. I could revise it, even if it's nonsense. And I kept practicing that until one night I decided I want to write a novel, and so I just wrote 1,000 words in an hour. And I actually did start with a blank page. I didn't even have to revise anything. So I think our brains are really good at making simple tasks seem a lot more complicated. And if you can just remove the variables, make things less complicated, you can just get things done, and you can really do whatever you want to do. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment if it's relatable, or just tell me anything that you want me to talk about in the future. Thank you so much. Have a good day. It's really fun to stack like 3 of them together, maybe even 4. Get them all together, get them lined up. All right, it looks like Booty Blaster 69 says, "Great work on your YouTube videos. I really appreciate your content." Thank you, Booty Blaster. Crohn's is a big contributor to my fear of heights. Just kidding. Here's what you can do. So if you get anxiety from deadlines, assignments, or just school in general, you should probably just drop out, because ever since I dropped out, I've felt so much better. Yes, the rumors are true. I have a new desk set up. And guess what? Wait, wrong way. Well, it's funny that we're talking about deadlines scaring me, because I actually ended up shooting myself in the foot. Why is this just not flowing? Ugh! So that just goes to show, like, I don't even know. Small, manageable pebbles and nuggets? Deadlines? Whatever, I'm tired of making this video.